Good morning, children. Today we shall deal with a new topic: land, soil, water, natural vegetation and wildlife resources. So, in the first chapter you had already learned what are natural resources, what are man-made resources, what are the classification of resources, what is sustainable development, all those things you had learned. So, today moving on, you are separately going to learn the different natural resources like land, soil and water. So, we talk about the natural resource. Each and every natural resource, is it fully developed or not? It is not fully developed. We have natural resources which are not fully developed, and these natural resources are not evenly distributed also. So, out of this three natural resources, these three natural resources are very important, and without these natural resources you are not able to sustain your life. So, the most important, land is the most important gift of nature, or all these natural resources are the gift of nature, and these natural resources provide the base on which all the other natural resources developed. Now, that they use, you see, in each and every country they use various techniques, or the techniques that they adopt in order to develop the natural resources keep on varying from country to country as well as from region to region. And this land, talking about land is very essential for the survival of people on the earth, and this can be used again and again. You can utilize it again and again, and all these natural resources are also closely interrelated also. So, what happens if you misuse any one of these natural resources, or what is going to happen? So, if you misuse your natural resources, there will be nothing that will be left for the future generations. That is why we talk about sustainable development. So, you are moving on to the topic land. So, land is a free gift of nature, and it is one of the most important basic requirement, because man lives on land, and all the needs that you have in your life are being provided to you from land. It supplies to you the basis for doing agricultural work. It supports forest areas. It gives pasture land for cattle, and most of the people inhabit mainly on land. So, there are areas where there is more population, as whereas there are areas where there is sparse population. So, it depends upon the conditions that people live in these land. So, in areas where there is moderate climate, where there is fertile soil, level land, etc., where there is the availability of transport and communication, where the infrastructure is well developed, people like to live. Whereas, do you like to go and live in an area where there is harsh climate, where there is a steep slope? Do you like to go and live in a desert? Do you like to live in an area where there is extreme cold? So, because of these extreme climatic conditions and other geographical features, in some areas population is very sparse. And depending upon the characteristics of land and according to the needs of the people, the land use pattern is entirely changed. For example, in an area where there is more population, and majority of the population are engaged in doing agriculture. So, in such areas they will be changing the pattern of doing agriculture. That means they will be using the available land for doing agriculture, as well as they will be clearing forest also for doing agricultural work. That means entirely the land use pattern will be changing. Then another one, in some areas there are heavy population areas, where thickly populated areas are there, where people need residential areas to live. So, in such areas a land will be utilized for doing or for construction of residences for the thickly population. That means all this shows that the land use pattern keep on changing according to the necessity of people. Then you had learned about different land forms like mountains, you had learned about plains, you had learned about plateaus, so you had learned about deserts. So different landform features you have learned. and these landforms keep on changing its shape and size day by day or year after year or with passage of time. This may be occurring mainly because of the natural disasters that you see on earth, like flood, earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, etc. Then why do people mainly people like to live in level lands? Mostly people choose level lands or plain landforms to live. Why do people choose such areas? So people choose such areas mainly because of the presence of alluvial soil, which is very much suitable for doing agriculture. And Indian economy mainly based on people engaged in doing agriculture, and agricultural economy, their main occupation is doing agriculture. So people mainly like to live in level lands where there is the presence of alluvial soil, and such plain areas will be the areas which have the highest density of population. And here transport and communication will be developed, here infrastructure will be developed, then cheap labor will be there, market facilities will be there, then roadways and railways will be well developed, whatever rivers are present will be navigable. So all these conditions may make more and more people to come and live in the plain areas mainly for doing agricultural work. And these areas will be, because of all such facilities, these areas are also chosen for the construction of lots of industries also. So there are lot of unproductive land also which remain without doing any sort of work. Then it is it is a must and necessity that you have to conserve land or conserve and protect land. So before that you have to learn what are the ways by which you degrade your land. How are you degrading your land? So there are many reasons which you can say for the degradation of land. So find it out yourself, what are the ways in which you are degrading land or how people are degrading land. So you can move on to some methods being adopted for the conservation of land. What are the methods that you can adopt? You see, you can adopt afforestation, then you can plant shelter belts. Shelter belt means planting trees near rivers. Then you can control the overgrazing of cattle. Then wasteland I had told, which remain uncultivated. So such uncultivated land can be utilized for doing agricultural works. So mining can be controlled. Then industrial effluents or waste can be properly discharged. Then a lot of techniques can be adopted. Scientific techniques can be adopted for conserving land. Then a lot of laws, rules and regulations or land reclamation measures can be brought by the government in order to conserve land. Then irrigation can be supplemented in order to keep up the fertility of land. So all these are some of the methods that you can adopt for conserving our precious natural resource, our gift of nature, land. So in between I had asked you one question, so find answer for that question. So thank you.